This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. We're in the press room here for Khan versus Alexander. With me, I have, from behind the gloves, Michelle Joy Phelps. How are you?
Fantastic. Aside from being extremely tired.
This is what it's like. People don't seem to realise.
No.
And they think it's like the end product. People see the end product but don't really see what you have to do to get to that end product.
They see the videos posted, they see the glamorous part of it. They don't see everybody sitting around for hours and hours and hours just editing and doing social media and posting. I have like a really bad neck cramp right now because it's just like this.
So currently in the media room sits myself, you, Ellie Sekbak, Marcos Viega,
and Constantino,
and also Declan Taylor from the UK. Everyone else has gone home. Helder is at the Cosmopolitan on his own, so we haven't got it that bad.
Yeah.
At least there's a few of us here. He is on his own. I just spoke to him. He said, "Everyone's gone, man. It's been like an hour and a half." I'm like, okay, just.
That's how I felt when I was in Atlantic City. I was always by myself in the press room.
Sometimes you got to do these things.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
True. Right, you were recently in England. You were there for what, nearly 3 weeks?
16 days.
16 days, so 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
I had fun. Yeah, it was cold. Colder. No, actually, you know what? Not as cold as I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I'm hearing like it's snowing right now.
I'm not
sure. So I'm actually glad I left in time.
Really?
Yeah.
So you started off, obviously you was in Bolton actually, it was the first place you were?
No, Liverpool.
Oh, Liverpool.
Bolton, Manchester, and then down to London. And I got a chance to see Birmingham too. I haven't, so got to see a little bit of stuff.
Yeah. What, obviously, English fans, or British fans, have more an interest in American stuff than American fans have an interest in English or British content for boxing. So why would you come over there for 2 weeks and take your behind the gloves there to cover events there?
I think ultimately, I mean, I have an interest in it. I know some people do. It may not be on like some grand scale, but I think that's also because not very many people here in the States cover boxing over that way. I think that if maybe there was a bit of exposure, that perhaps it would, you know, spark an interest of some sort. But it's just also me wanting to expand what it is I do. You know, obviously I cover all the major fights here, but I do have an interest in what goes on over there, because some of those guys are more than likely going to be matched up with our guys here in the States next year for 2015. So it's also about not even just building my own brand, but also expanding like my contacts and stuff like that. Like when they come this way, I like to know that they're familiar with me and I'm familiar with them. You know how that goes.
Yeah, of course.
It's all about relationships.
Of course. But I think Ellie Sekbak came to England back in 2012 for the Olympics. But I don't really know anyone who does the sort of thing we do that has come over from America to cover stuff in England, apart from yourself. You were here for Foxgroves too, and you've been also here for Bellew Cleverly, etc. So it's not really a known thing for videographers, whatever you want
to do that.
Is that what we're called, videographers?
Somebody once insulted us by calling us video bloggers, but we're not going to go there.
Video bloggers? I think video blogging is when you sit in front of the camera yourself and go, "Rah!" Which actually you've done before, I haven't. Yeah. But if you also interview the best fighters in the world,
I wouldn't exactly say I'm a blogger.
No.
Yeah.
I'll call myself.
I mean, the funny thing is that we were, and I say we, as in we were all generalized into one category. Even though we interview some of the biggest, or the biggest, boxing stars in the world.
Do you know what an interesting topic to talk to you about? is the perception of the online media, because this is a new age way of boxing publicity that wasn't around
10 years ago.
10 years ago. I think I'm going to keep referring back to Ellie, because he's the first person I knew that used to do this back in 2006. It definitely wasn't a thing before 2006 in England. It really wasn't a thing in England without sort of bigging ourselves up until we were doing it in 2010. If anyone's out there that can correct me with that, then come forward. But the perception of the online media is still that it's at the bottom of the media food chain.
Right.
So why is that in your opinion?
I think that there's, and I say this with all due respect, but I think that there are a lot of people who are still sort of caught up in like the days where the newspapers or commercial advertisement was the way to go about things. But when there is breaking news, the first thing that we do is pick up our cell phones and we hit Google or go to YouTube. No one goes home and waits for the Channel 5 news to break the news. No one goes and runs to the stands to go pick up a newspaper that's going to print it the next morning. We're living in a different time. And collectively, what we do as online media, online journalists, is we collectively pull in more numbers than networks or a newspaper will. Say somebody, let's say 10,000 newspapers go out. There's no guaranteeing that 10,000 people read that article. But when we get 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 views in one video, we know that that many people clicked to watch our interview. So I think that there's going to come a time where it will be like an ultimate takeover, and there's a lot of even networks are getting smart. Networks are starting to put things online. They're not all relying on it just being on their network or cable. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of people that still need to get with it, and if they don't, they're going to die out. Their companies will die out.
I think a good example of what you're talking about is Showtime use their YouTube channel to excellent effect, and they know the market value of putting like the All Access, the Waynes and the press conferences on their YouTube channel, because
streaming them live now?
Yeah.
Because when we were streaming them live, no one did that. Even it was about a year and a half ago, no one was streaming it live. When I did it a couple times, no one had done it. I don't do it anymore. It's, to me, quite frankly, it's too much work. But people started to get with it and they started doing it. So eventually, everyone is going to understand, and I think more so respect what we do. I mean, who knows? We don't know if it's even going to stay here. We don't know if we're starting off as online journalists and then eventually move on to do something else, or if we're going to find ourselves in a time where shows and stuff are going to actually be done online, like real legit shows from networks and being put online, because that's where everybody seems to want to go to watch content nowadays.
One of the biggest plus points which benefits us, and again when I say us I mean the whole online boxing community, is that the promoters here and also at home do understand that, some more than others, but ultimately they do know the benefits of the online aspect of promoting their show, and all these interviews, etc., and videos, clips, whatever, they ultimately go to promoting a show, whatever way you look at it. And some have grasped it better than others, but you know, I think the fact that people like Golden Boy and Top Rank accredit a vast amount of, we'll call them videographers rather than video bloggers, videographers, indicates that they do get that side of it, because yes, the print people are there and the broadcasters are there, but there is that other market there, and as each day goes on, they will probably see the value in it more and more as that side of it grows.
We're sort of the we're the ones who are sort of like the guinea pigs of something new, and we're going to see at some point where it's going to be probably easier for other people to sort of come on the scene and do what they do, because we've, in some way, we've all pioneered our own direction in making online media legit. So we're going to see that day come. I already feel like we're already starting to see it. I see a lot of people starting to pull out their cameras and trying to do what we do, which is flattering, because they realize that there's something there. So it just, for whatever reason, some people still see newspapers as to be more credible than what we do, and that's fine. It'll change. Guaranteed it'll change.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't know what we do now is going to be in 3 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
We know how it was 3 years ago, so that's quite a drastic change from now. But we don't know how it's going to be in 3 years' time. But I do understand there's the writers element of it, that there's guys that have been covering boxing for 30, 40 years, and they sit in press row, and they've, their calibre of knowledge and whatever speaks for itself. And there's probably...
See, that's the thing, is that there's no disrespect being said, as in saying that the writers are, and when I say that it's in the dinosaur age, I don't mean that to be disrespectful towards what they do. It's just what it is today. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to be sort of weaved out, because it's not going to happen. But what I do mean is that it seems to be, and trust me, several other people have said this, it seems to be that some writers look down upon us, whereas I'm not trying to reverse that and look down upon what they do, even though to some degree you almost can, by saying, well, you guys are kind of outdated in a sense, but we don't do that. But I would say it's the other way around, that almost we're looked upon as not real media to some degree. But in today's generation, we look at that as like, well, who really reads a newspaper anymore?
Yeah.
Or even magazines. A lot of people just like pictures. Why do you think Instagram and stuff like that's so popular? Nobody really gives a crap about what anyone has to say. They just want to look at people's lives, and we live in a microwave generation, instant. I want it instant. I want to go online and get it now. No one wants to wait for it to be released or whatever. So it's a different time, man. Things are changing.
100%. I can't speak for the writers in America, because I've met a couple of them. I don't really know them, but the writers in England, I'd say 80 to 90% of them get the online aspect, and a lot of them do online stuff as well as writing for their columns, etc., etc. And they appreciate what we do back home. As I'm not saying they totally get it, I'm saying that they can appreciate by the consistency of covering events, and not just...
I feel like we're all in the same, because we're all in the same field to some degree, and I feel like it should just be one big mutual respect for what we all each do individually, but collectively for the sport. You know what I mean? But some people don't see it that way, and it could be maybe they're threatened by a new wave of whoa, what's this? Like, where are they coming from? What are they doing? Why do they have so many followers or hits online? And do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just sometimes some people get a little threatened by change. That's all.
See, again, it's different for you here, because I think the competition for you here is a lot stiffer than what we have at home.
Oh, at 100%.
Yeah, and I think I look at the calibre of people here doing our stuff, and like I said, Marcus from Fight Hub is over there, still working. Ellie Sekbak's here, you're still here. I'm not knocking the people who are not here, but I'm saying there is, I've got to be careful with the words here, but it's not a better quality of whatever, but there's more people doing it at a higher level here. And back home, there's people doing it, but I'm not saying our stuff's better than theirs. I'm saying our stuff is more consistent, because there's not a lot of things we miss, whether that's in London or up north. I'd say we cover, of all the top stuff that goes on, 95% of the stuff. Right. So I'm not saying our stuff's any better than anyone else's quality-wise. That's for people to judge. But I do know that we're more consistent than the majority of people.
Well, I mean, but just to see where you are in your career, both you and Helder, just proves that all the hard work, all the dedication that you guys sacrifice. People don't see the sacrifice, man. You're away all the time, tired. You really, I mean, I'm not saying that we're not all friendly people, but there are times you just saw me. You told me to wake up. I'm just in like, you know, it's not glamorous. It's not glamorous at all. It's painful, in fact.
I wouldn't go that far, but do you know what it is as well? I've noticed this as well, and I've never really spoke about this before, but I get the feeling, like back home, like people that do what we do, they don't like us. Like I get that impression.
Well, because you guys run
that
shit.
No, but not because anyone's ever come to me and said, oh, because that's unlikely to happen. But I do get the feeling that when we're at events, because of our relationship and our access back home, which has been built through consistency and trust, because we've not looked at screw anyone over ever, and we've been consistent for 4 years. So that's come about, and I think we deserve that. But I think, I get the feeling rather, that people that do what we do back home, I don't know what it's like here. I come here, everyone's like, hi, blah, blah, blah. You know, if we need footage, they'd give me footage. If I needed footage from you, you've given me loads of footage before. Ellie's given me footage before. Marcus has given me footage before. Back home, I just think, I don't know, I just get this feeling me and Helder walk around and everyone's going, oh, for fuck's sake, it's fucking them. I don't know if that's true, that's just the feeling I get.
It's probably because at the end of the day, you've sort of built this, because of your consistency, you've built this this following and your channel's large, that at the end of the day, if someone's going to go for boxing footage over in the UK, they already know what channel to hit because they're going to have it. And that's what you have to do. That's what a lot of these people don't understand, is that if they don't build the consistency of knowing that you're going to always have the coverage, they're going to go to the site or to the channel that they know will always have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why. People are threatened. It's all
But
good, Kooks.
I'll tell you a little story, and if people are watching this who are involved in this, they'll know what I'm talking about. But there was a point in a press conference recently, you know, when I'm in England, or we're in England, you know, when the press conference is over and everyone runs to the main fighters and blah, 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 blah. I'm not bothered about that, because I know that I can wait till the end. If I get it first, great. If I don't, I'm quite happy to wait till the end to do it. But I remember once, me and Helder were at an event not too long ago, and we were in a rush because we had to go from this press conference to somewhere else. So I've gone to the main fighter straight away, and then I was told about a conversation 2 or 3 of the other media guys had, and said, fucking eye film again, going first. And I just thought, and someone told me this conversation, and I said, well, alright. They wouldn't tell me who it was, so it's irrelevant who it was. They just said to me, told me this conversation. But it was that's what gave me the impression that, and it's not, we're not always first, because there's loads of times I've waited till the end.
Do you know what's funny to me about that? Is what does it matter?
It doesn't.
First, second, 10th, last, doesn't matter. You're still going to get your own content.
Exactly.
So what does it matter to someone if you're first? And even if you were first, well, you were kind of the first one on the scene. Haven't you sort of earned that place in line?
I'm not thinking it's just, we're talking about this whole media thing.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of media people at home that we get on with and like and blah, blah, blah. I don't dislike anyone, it's not an environment to dislike people. But like I said, just a few things I've heard, noticed, get the vibe from that. They kind of look at you and think, just that. God. But anyway, that's life, I suppose.
Hey, how do you say it in England? Sodom? Sodom?
What's that? Sodom. Yeah. Or fuck 'em, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Either way. No, but we just laugh about it anyway, people. But
How are you taking Vegas? Are you not jet lagged?
No.
No?
No. We've been here since Sunday. We got here Sunday. Helder's first time in Vegas. So Helder's like,
What are you doing trying to get in camera with me?
But now that you're saying something.
Come in.
Just sit down.
Come in.
He's always got to crash my stuff. Can't let me shine.
We've just been talking about stuff. Sit down.
Oh, I'm sitting down now?
Sit down.
Okay, we got 8 minutes.
Why?
Because that's my timeline here.
Oh, excuse us.
Can you
The
sit
studio's
closer,
calling
please?
me. The studio's calling
Thank
me.
you. We were just talking. I'll tell you what. A couple of things we were talking about.
Yeah.
How the perception. What are you doing?
Looking into the camera.
Look at me.
No, see,
Oh my God. Saved by the
see,
book
he
over
ruined
there.
he ruined it for you guys watching. Instead of me having the connection with you guys and looking at you because
Oh my God. Can we
you
ask him
guys
to
are
leave
looking
already?
at me, he asked me to look beyond
Marcos,
the fourth wall.
Can
This
you-
is an
right up
English
here.
phrase that we like to use. Fuck off.
I think that's an American
Listen,
phrase
just give me
too.
your quick thoughts on what I've been talking to Michelle for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah. Oh
Right?
Jesus, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
He's the one who's been talking.
Wow.
I've just been doing this.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
I know you
yeah.
haven't. You've been answering the questions. The perception of online media
That
in the outside world, and to maybe some of the other media outlets, i.e. print, broadcast.
Well, they all think we're like working out of our mom's basements.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know, after we're done with Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, and we're there, you know, scratching our balls and stuff like that. It's a tough gig, man. We don't get a lot of respect, to be honest, and it's very hard for us because you get these geezers.
I like
you
that.
know,
Touch me.
that you know, these writers that are old and honestly, like people, I don't know about you guys in the UK, but I think it's a worldwide thing. People don't read newspapers anymore, really, as compared to like online media.
Yeah.
What do you do when
yeah.
breaking news happens?
Go on Twitter, online. You don't go read your newspaper. you
Or
know?
what? Wait for the Channel 5 news?
Yeah, you know, but you
Or
go
what
online.
happens if you want to see a wave? Do you read that in the paper? Do you read that shit in the
See
paper?
a what?
A weigh-in.
Oh, weigh in?
Yeah, you see a wave.
Yeah, you see a
Do
wave.
you read the wave?
You,
in the
like,
paper?
you see the pictures and then the weights listed underneath it the next day.
By the way, I'm Marcos Viegas. Hi, you can follow me at
People
Mayamo
know
Marcos.
Marcos
And
because
at
he's the
it.
one that
Look at
stole my
Marcos
footage
Viegas.
for Adrian
Just in
Broner.
case
away.
you guys didn't know who the hell I was.
Check it out, Fight Hub,
Fight Hub, yes. Fight Hub.
and the boxing channel,
And the
what
boxing
other
channel.
outlet you will whore yourself out to?
SB Nation. Prime Ticket.
What is this? Some fucking resume thing right here?
yeah, I don't
Do you know
know.
what, Marcos? I'm going to wrap this up now. so
McDonald's.
you can leave now.
Yeah,
'cause this is
McDonald's
Michelle's
be
interview.
proper. Right? Still
Wow.
gotta take me to go eat crumpets.
Yeah. I've got a great idea.
I'm surprised this one
Right
even
there.
has a girlfriend.
Oh, we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Marcos, how did you get a girlfriend?
Because I'm suave.
All right.
That one right there. Special.
Okay. Well, listen, Michelle. Unless you have anything else to add.
This seems to be a really long interview.
Yeah, 23 minutes.
23 minutes about
why not?
what? What did we really talk about?
We talked about some good stuff. We talked about some stuff that's very relevant to what we do, so don't forget that.
Okay. Well,
Other people may take inspiration from things you have said or I've said. Khan, Alexander, Fight Week, obviously. And it's kind of an interesting point in Amir Khan's career because he didn't waste the last 8 to 10 months, but the Mayweather lure was there for so long, it didn't happen. He could have fought Devin Alexander last year when Devin Alexander had the IBF title, he didn't. And can you see a similar situation happening where
Again?
Amir Khan's put in no
Mayweather
man's land?
sweepstakes? Oh.
Well, just no man's land where he doesn't know whether it's happening or not, and spends time getting it, and it doesn't happen or does happen. It could be frustrating for Amir Khan.
I think the best thing to do at this point for Amir is to just stop campaigning for it altogether. Just stop. In my personal opinion, I don't really know who could be left for Floyd to fight next, aside from Amir Khan or Manny Pacquiao,
Yeah.
right? So if you already know that to some degree, based on, now granted there could be other opponents that other people might say, well he's this or he's that. I'm talking about on a level that can help promote a card like Mayweather, like a Mayweather card, we've already seen how it's backfired to some degree with certain other people because they didn't have the following to bring to the table. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, so in my personal opinion, he should just stop campaigning for it altogether, sit back, and let it happen. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it wasn't meant to be. That's just the end of the day. I mean, who knows? It could be Pacquiao next, and then a Pacquiao rematch, and he might retire. Or he might go into a 50th fight, wanting to fight at the Wembley, and call it a day. But that's the way it was going to work out. So there's no point in sort of holding your breath anymore, because then I think he needs to focus more on his legacy than worrying about getting the Floyd fight. And that could be a rematch with Danny Garcia. That could be a rematch with Lamont Peterson. That could be, there's so many other alternatives that could help build his own legacy back to where, or in his career back to where he wants it to be. Just the thought.
Well, tomorrow's the weigh-in.
Yeah.
And there's obviously nothing drama-wise that's going to happen there, but weigh-in tomorrow, and then obviously Saturday night. Obviously, I'll be rooting for Amir Khan from him being from England.
So you're okay with being biased, just simply because he's from your homeland?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Listen, if a Brit is fighting an American, I'll back the Brit.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem with me doing that.
Okay, that's fine. I don't do that.
Yeah, I would do that. And actually, I like Devin Alexander. I met Devin Alexander a couple of years ago, and he's made constant reference to the fact that I've come here to support him. So he's like, I know you've come to support me. You don't have to say it on camera, but I know you've come to support me. I'm like, I like you, Devin. That's been my response. But now, if a Brit is fighting an American, I don't mind saying that.
Yeah. All right, well.
I only fence it when it's two of our own. Then
okay.
Then I just shut my mouth. Well, I've got to. People don't understand that fencing thing. You don't call fights, like as in pick people to win. And I think that, people obviously ask on Twitter, who's going to win this fight? Who's going to win that fight?
They don't respect. Okay, here's the crazy thing. Some of you guys don't respect that I don't want to choose, and here's why. I feel like it helps me do what I do best, which is my job is to ask the questions, to get the interview, and to put it out there. I'm not sitting here analyzing fights. I'm not calling round by round. I'm not an analyst, and I'm not a commentator. I'm a reporter. Now, reporters eventually and can, gradually move up the ladder and become that, but that's not my job right now. So I choose not to. I choose to be, or I sit on the fence, as you guys might call it. I happily do that, but I just choose to not be biased at all in the way that I do my interviews. And I would hope or think that the fight fans would appreciate that, but they really don't. A lot of them are like, oh, why don't you do this, or oh, that, and it's like, okay.
Listen, I get called a fence hitter, and I'm quite happy to be called a fence hitter, because if it means that, like I said, off camera, if people want to have a conversation, see me in the street or whatever and ask me an opinion, that's different. But things, when you're saying on camera, can be taken in
out of context
in a completely different way, and make you look like you're siding with that fighter.
Exactly.
So I don't see the point in doing that, to be honest.
Me either.
So that's all good. Well, we've got 2 more days here.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else to add, Michelle, are you happy in your life at the moment?
Yeah.
Things going well? No?
Things going well for you?
Things are going very well. Got no woman on the firm, as we say in England.
How did you manage to pull that one right there?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
What are you saying?
She's pretty, that's what I'm saying. Just kidding.
She's pretty, yeah.
Why didn't you introduce me to her when we were there?
Because...
Why are you holding back?
No,
what are you afraid of?
Nothing.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
I never go over there. Well, I do, but not really. I'm not like there all the time.
Do you know what? The only time that you two were in the same venue was the Bad Blood card. And without going into it, we know you had issues at the Bad Blood card. But she was there. But I'm sure if you was there the whole night, then you probably would have met her. Yeah. It's all good.
The holiday seasons are coming around.
Yeah.
Relationships are blooming.
Yeah.
Love is in the air.
Love is definitely in the air.
Oh, we know it's in the air for you, Mr. Posting things I never thought a man would be posting.
I don't care. Do you know what? All that
I don't
stuff
care.
there, I don't give a fuck about. Listen, that woman there, I love that woman, and if I want to write it on Facebook,
Hey, I'm not hating
Instagram,
on that.
I'm going to do it.
Do
And
it.
if anyone else says otherwise, as we say in England,
Sodom.
fuck them. It's all good.
Why do you say it as in we say that in England? I think everyone
No,
says that
no.
everywhere.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But what about you?
What?
Well, you're always tweeting weird shit on your Twitter and stuff, and no one really knows what you're talking about.
No one needs to know what I'm talking about.
Fair enough.
Or who I'm talking about.
Just be open like me.
No. See, that's the difference between you and I. You already see the shit you get, right? And you're a guy. If I were to tell the world who I'm dating or what I'm doing with my life, I would be ripped apart. So there's no way in hell. I don't give anybody anything. No one needs to know anything about me.
Fair enough. I don't. Listen.
To me, I've always been that way though. I've always been very private. You know that. I don't just come out and talk about anything. I'm very private. I'm very respectful. But at the end of the day, I don't need social media or other people's opinions to justify what I share with somebody.
Yeah.
So, and quite frankly, it makes it less of a hassle because you don't get people who are trying to create drama between the two of you.
I completely understand that. And to be honest, I keep it. I'm private, but I know what to sort of, because I know there's idiots on social media.
Oh,
No, but I know there's
a lot
idiots on
of them.
social media, so I hold back a little bit because it's just a completely different world. And social media.
Isn't it sad that you can't just get on, okay, let's say Facebook, right? You just can't get on Facebook and be like, I'm happy, I'm in love, I'm happy. And it's like people really don't want to hear that shit. It's like the second, they don't want to hear you're happy, they don't want to see you doing well. They don't want to, God forbid, you have a good looking piece. And then all hell breaks loose. It's like everybody just hates.
They do, it's true.
Straight hashtag haters.
Listen, people start
I
hating.
see the stuff they ran on your thing. I'm
No, but I
thinking,
know.
you're just a guy. Imagine if I were to do that. They'd be...
I'm not that bothered. Listen, people got on social media one chance. So it's Facebook, Twitter. They're out of line. See you later.
Is she on Facebook?
Maybe.
Because I was gonna say, does she get people writing her saying crap about her too?
No, but that's because I keep it.
You don't tag her.
No, I just not tagging. I do. I post pictures, and blah blah. But I just know how to sort of separate that work side of it as well. Not to a complete extent, but how to do it in a sensible way. Because I know, and you know, being on social media, how many people that just they just want to see you basically buried in the ground. I don't mean that like dead. I just mean they just want to see you fall from wherever you are. Mm-hmm. So I ain't got time for that. So it's all good. Do you know what? This has been a very long interview.
I know.
This is actually.
Long. How long is this?
This is like 35 minutes.
Jesus Christ. All right, bye, Five fans.
But to be honest, I didn't catch up with you in London. So
No, you didn't.
This is kind of like.
Why don't you just do like a 2-part?
No. Just bang it out together.
No, whatever. Okay.
Right.
Hey, if you made it all the way to the end, you must be a real fan.
I bet you there's people that will watch
35
this.
minutes long.
So,
Holy crap.
Anyway, this
Hey,
has been.
let me
Hold on. I'm going to make this professional. This has been Kugan Cassius with Michelle Joy Phelps for IFL TV.
Bye, Five fans.
Oh, sorry.
Damn, boy.